Guys, let's talk 170, welterweight. Dana has made it clear that he's trying to get Masvidal and Colby together. The fans have made it clear they want those two to get together. But in all fairness, they don't have to, right? I mean, like, there's some fights that are clearly the bigger fight, or clearly the fight you want to see, or clearly the only fight. You'll have an only fight for, man, this is the only fight I want. You have to do this one. That's not the case. You could put Colby with 5 different guys. The world's ready to see the Colby show come back. Masvidal is the biggest star in the sport. Feel free to argue if that's Conor, but you get my point. He's no lower than 2. He can do anything and people are going to want to tune in. This is not a situation where this has to happen. It makes sense. The rankings support it. I'd like to see the BMF put up. They got a backstory like no other. But it is time to see those guys back, both. Whoever they're standing across. The trouble you run into in the short term is neither one's did a good job of telling the story of who they want to fight aside from each other. Masvidal has essentially laid out. The last guy I ever heard Masvidal call out and say that he wants was Usman. But I'm going way back to February. I'm going to a week to 2 weeks whenever that fight happened. Because I'm going back to more like May or June when that fight happened. But you get my point. I haven't heard Masvidal say anyone's name. Colby's only said Masvidal. There's lots of things for those guys to do. But if they don't take us in another direction, we're going to stay right here. And that's where one of the cases get a little bit peculiar. Colby is coming out saying Masvidal's not agreeing to this fight. Dana has supported it by saying, I want to do this fight. And we don't actually know what's going on behind the scenes. But if one of them wants to go in another direction, I would just encourage them to come out and tell us what direction, because you're going to have a lot of fans that get behind you. You could take all the eyes right off of that if there's some reason that you want to go somewhere else, but where is that going to be? And then you look at the Diazes, and I have them both at 170. I know there was talk of if Nick comes back, he's going to go 155. I know there was talk of that. I have him at 170. His last fight was at 185. His finest work has been at 170. I got him at 170. How long is that experiment until that runs out? And I don't just mean for Nick, I mean for Nate. Either one of them can come back, get a fight, get millions, and get a very big fight. But for how long? How long can we play this game? How long do they want to sit in primes of their career, particularly for Nate? Right at the height, man. His last fight was for a championship. It was at Madison Square Garden. The president was there. I mean, right? It's a big time. Seems like you'd want to strike. I'm asking the question. Maybe these guys have another plan. Those guys have been like accidental marketing geniuses from Jump Street. But for how long? Then you take a look. Okay, it looks like we're going to have Usman and Burns. Not looks like we've got that. That's going to be done. But then Chimaev is coming on red hot. Chimaev's looking to take everybody's thunder. Leon's looking to stop him. That fight's going to get moved. I mean, there's a lot of things going on at 170. Where's T Wood in the mix? And even if you want to say, okay, he's not in the conversation with those guys, I'm not steering you out of that. But where is he in the mix? What kind of a guy does he draw into? Is there anything to be said for my wish for T Wood, which is that he leaves the division and goes to 185? It looks like I'm alone on that one. I've even talked to T Wood. It looks like I'm alone on that one. That's what I'd like to see. Fresh coat of paint, all new parity, no focus on cutting weight, full focus on training. It's just what I'd like to see. Ponzinibbio's coming back. I mean, right? 170 is one of these very interesting directions right now. But it would appear if you're going to do Kamaru and Burns and that's done, okay, fine. That's done. So your next step is to identify what match is going to be for the contendership for that fight, which I think is where Colby and Masvidal come in. But if that doesn't come together, then that's where Chimaev and Leon could come in. But I hope that the guys in the division who are playing checkers, and that's okay. Athletes have the right to have tunnel vision to look at their next move, but I hope that they see that the organization is playing chess. They're setting up multiple fights right now for whoever comes to the table and has the best showing to be the number one contender to take on the winner of Kamaru and Burns.